Good evening, everybody, and welcome. My name is Sabir, pronouns he, him, and I direct events here at the Strand. Before we launch into a discussion of Christine Riccio's new book, Better Together, and Gail Forman's We Are Inevitable, I'd like to share a little bit of history about the Strand. The Strand was founded in 1927 by Benjamin Bass over on 4th Avenue's Book Row. Stretching from Union Square to Astor Place, Book Row gradually dwindled from 48 bookstores until, after over 93 years, the Strand is the sole survivor, now run by third-generation owner Nancy Bass Wyden. We want to thank all of you for your support. Without our loyal community of book lovers and authors such as Christine, Gail, and Jesse, we wouldn't be here today, and we are truly appreciative of it. Tonight, we are thrilled to have with us Christine Riccio for the launch of her newest book, Better Together, and Gail Forman here to discuss her new book, We Are Inevitable. Christine is the New York Times bestselling author of Again But Better. She's been on a quest to encourage more humans to read since the third grade. No one really listened until she started making videos about books on YouTube in 2010. Now her channel, Poland Bananas Books, has over 400,000 book-loving subscribers. She makes comedic book reviews, vlogs, sketches, and writing videos chronicling the creation of her own novels. She's also one of 3 YouTubers behind Booksplosion, YouTube's longest-running book club. Originally from New Jersey, Christine graduated from Boston University in 2012 with a degree in film and TV and now lives in Los Angeles, California. Gail Forman is an award-winning, internationally best-selling author and journalist. Her #1 New York Times best-selling novel, If I Stay, was adapted into a film starring Chloe Grace Moretz. In addition to landing the #1 spot on the New York Times bestseller list, If I Stay has been translated into more than 40 languages and received widespread critical acclaim. Entertainment Weekly called it beautifully written, and the Wall Street Journal raved. The brilliance of this book is the simplicity. Gail is also the author of several other best-selling novels, including Where She Went, I Was Here, the Just One series, I Have Lost My Way, and Leave Me. Her essays and nonfiction work have appeared in publications like the New York Times, Elle, The Nation, and Time. She lives in Brooklyn, New York with her husband and daughters. Moderating tonight's event is Jesse George. Jesse started his YouTube channel, Jesse the Reader, in 2012 and is 1/3 of the online book club, Booksplosion. You can find him at youtube.com/Jesse the Reader. And so without further ado, please join me in welcoming Christine, Jesse, and Gail to the stage.
Oh my gosh. Hello, everybody. We're doing our interpretive dance, right? That's happening, right? Here we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm super excited to be here. I'm Jesse. We are here with Christine Riccio and Gail Forman to talk about their latest books. So to kick it off, I'm going to have you guys both introduce yourselves and give us an elevator pitch of your newest releases. Christine, you want to start?
Okay, I was going to say go first. I'll go first. Okay, so my new book is called Better Together. It is about 2 sisters that have been separated by a divorce for over 10 years, and now they are 19 and 21, and they're going through their quarter-life crisis, which is like this existential dread crisis that comes post-high school, post-college. It hits at different points for different people. And they're at these low points because Jamie has always wanted to be a comedian. She's like, I'm really good at this, and she's working towards it, but she starts to develop stage anxiety where like whenever she's trying to do a set, she gets nauseous. She's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with my life? Is this not gonna work? Siri has been working towards being a ballerina her whole entire life, and then she gets this injury and she can't do it anymore. And she is just like completely lost because her identity is all tied up in ballet. And they run into each other at this Rediscover Yourself retreat in Colorado. And they kind of, reconnect, exchange notes about their parents and how weird it is that they completely separated them and haven't talked to their other parent in years, and decide to switch places to confront them. And they kind of switch lives for a week. There's like a hint of magic that pops in there and allows for them to switch lives pretty successfully. And there's a lot of mischief and there's romance, and it's a fun time. They kind of find themselves through living as each other, and it's a time.
Awesome. Gail, what about you?
So We Are Inevitable is a book about sort of books and bookstores and love. And it's, I felt that sort of introduction where you hear about the Strand being the only one standing of all these bookstores is a little appropriate for this book. So Aaron Stein he is 19 years old, and he's sort of stuck owning the family's failing bookstore. And he feels like he's obsessed with the period between when the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs hit and the time when the last dinosaur keeled over. So, because it was like 33,000 years between that asteroid and the last one really going extinct. And he kind of feels like one of those sort of Walking Dead dinosaurs, because like his life has been upended. Nobody in his small town reads books anymore. The bookstore is going down the tubes, and whatever cushion the family had, they had to spend because Aaron's brother Sandy was addicted to opioids and ended up dying of that addiction, and sort of upended his family too. So when the book starts, Aaron just wants to get the hell out of there. He hates books. Books used to be like a miracle to him, but he can't even read anymore except for the dinosaur book. And he secretly sells the store out from under his father. He owns it, Aaron owns it, but his father is the one who runs it, sort of, because his father is so out of it. And right after that happens, he sort of meets this ragtag group of people in this community, including this guy Chad, who's kind of like this total bro who Aaron is not very into, except a couple of years earlier.
I love Chad.
Chad broke his neck and he uses a wheelchair, and he kind of has really used that experience to kind of change who he is. He meets this girl, Hannah. There's this group of lumberjacks, and all these people come together trying to save the store that Aaron has already sold. So it's this sort of feel-good, humorous, I think, a book that feels, people have described it as a hug. And I think it's really about like, what do you do when the life you thought you were going to have for yourself is no more? Like, right. You can wallow in the bitterness, or you can find a way forward with the community.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so
and
much
Christine
fun.
Blurbed it for me. So
I'm so excited I got to blurb it. It's so good. Obviously, I mean, everything Gail writes is so great, and this is no exception. And it was such a fun, like those lumberjacks just made my life. They were so fun every time. Aaron's like down in the dumps. He's constantly like looking for a reason to not like people, and they just kept coming at him with kindness. And he's like, "Stop it!
Stop it! You guys are bad. I know you're bad. Stop proving me wrong." And I just love the interplay between Siri and Jamie, because like they were such opposites in so many ways, and the way that, and their parents are pretty messed up in a lot of ways in what they did, and the way that sort of stepping into the other person's existence helped them to face what they needed to face was great, and also really funny, and there was some really delightful romance on both ends too.
All right, well, We Are Inevitable and Better Together are available now. If you have not picked up a copy, go pick up 1 or 3.
And from an indie bookstore like the Strand, and if you live somewhere not anywhere in the United States, as I see a lot of you do, I don't know if there's indie bookstores, but I think we both are big cheerleaders of these places like the Strand, which are wonderful. If you're ever in New York, you got to go.
Yes, it's the best, actually.
It really is. Like, it's a book lover's dream in there.
Yeah.
So I am going to be going over some questions with Christine and Gail. We're going to do some book-to-movie trivia, book-to-movie adaptation trivia, to be specific. And then we're going to be opening up to you guys to answer some of your questions tonight. So we're going to do some rapid-fire questions to kind of just kick us off. What did you have for breakfast?
What did we have for breakfast? Gail, you go first.
I have the same thing I have every day. I have a smoothie that tastes like a frozen peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What did you have?
I had oatmeal with blueberries and bananas and a dollop of yogurt. It was delicious. That's my everyday breakfast too.
All right, what are you currently reading?
What am I currently reading? I've tried to read like 5 books this week, and I haven't gotten past the first chapter because my anxiety is too intense. But I'm trying to read People We Meet on Vacation, Vicious by V.E. Schwab, And I just started Tahara Mafi's new book, An Emotion of Great Delight, and it's so short. I'm like, this one I have to finish in like one sitting. Like I can finish a book, I can get past the anxiety.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I have that too. I think it's been very hard to read a book during the pandemic. So when one grabs you, and that's one of the reasons I listen to audio as well. So I'm listening to somebody's daughter on audio. I just finished Nina LaCour's book that's coming out next February called Yerba Buena, which was so good. And then I have, Crying in H Mart. I don't want to say it wrong, but I just got that. I hear that's fantastic. So yeah.
Awesome. Current television obsession.
Current television obsession. What have I watched lately? The pressure.
All right, I'll jump in. Mayor of Easttown.
Oh my gosh, everyone's talking about Mayor of
And
Easttown.
I'm telling you, when the finale came on, HBO Max went down, and Twitter went ballistic.
Oh no!
Yes, we were all like, "What is happening?"
I have to watch that. I've been watching the weekly shows, right? I haven't been able to binge because anxiety, but I watched I've been watching This Is Us religiously since forever, and also The Handmaid's Tale feels like it's in its final season and everything feels like
that's really good for your anxiety, Christine. I'm sure that's happening a lot.
It's really not.
Have you watched Ted Lasso? I feel like everybody needs to watch that as an antidepressant. I've watched that so many times. I
should rewatch it because it was so wonderful.
It's
and I went through it so fast.
It's a comfort show for sure.
It is a hug. And Dickinson too. It was like a writing inspiration watching that.
Yeah. Haley Steinfeld is just delightful.
Okay, just some quick ones before we get into the actual questions. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Cats. Ooh. Oh yeah, you have your new puppy. So cute. I know. Yes. I almost relented and got a dog during the pandemic, but I don't want to have to pick up anybody's poop anymore.
Valid.
Yeah,
okay.
It's valid.
Favorite season?
Winter.
Summer.
Opposites. Okay. Favorite
winter
color?
Says the person living in Los Angeles right now. So can we just say winter?
Yeah.
I like Los Angeles winter where it's like 50 degrees.
Yeah. Ooh, it's 65. Get out the cashmere.
It's a great time.
All right. Favorite color?
Green.
Orange.
It changes.
Oh,
nice.
Okay, last one. What's your zodiac sign?
Is that Leo? Yeah.
Leo?
I can tell I'm big into astrology.
I can tell.
I mean, I guess this is proof that you are a millennial, not a Gen Z, because I feel like you would get kicked out of the generation if you did not know your sign. I am a Gemini. In fact, it was 2 days ago I had my birthday, so
happy birthday! Should we sing?
No, we should not sing. Definitely not.
All right, so I'm going to get into the actual questions now. Just want a little bit of an icebreaker.
All right, I feel a little warmed up. I'm ready.
Yes, all right, here we go.
Zumba-ing. Yeah, here we go.
Yes. All right, if you could Freaky Friday any of your characters, who would you choose and what would you do?
But I already did.
Well, I get to Freaky Friday with them, or
you get to Freaky Friday with them. That's what I meant.
Freaky Friday with Adam Wilde from Where She Went. I don't know what it's like to be a full-on rock star, even a miserable one. Yeah,
that'd be awesome. I guess. What would be cool if I could Freaky Friday as the spirit guide from Again But Better and spirit guide people.
Yes. Okay, what about from each other's books?
My gosh. From the lead from Just One Day, and I'm blanking on her name right now. What is her name? It's been too long. Allison.
Yes.
I want to be the shrink in your book, Dr. Tanya.
Tanya. Oh my gosh. She's fun.
All right. Not to be a bummer, but I want to talk a little bit about the pandemic. I am curious to know if the pandemic changed the way you write at all, if it changed the way you approach writing. Did it not change at all? Was it the same for you? What was that like writing during these tough times?
Is that so writing for me has always been escapism. And so I found during the pandemic, like after like the first month when I couldn't do anything, that I needed to write more than ever, which was good because I was revising We Are Inevitable and missing bookstores so much. Like it really just hit me. And I was revising another book. So I wound up being really productive just because I needed to leave the world, leave my house where my children were like miserable and angry, and, you know, leave New York City with its sort of sirens nonstop and just escape into these other worlds. So it actually really, it saved me again. Writing saved me again.
Right.
For me, I'm such a noob. This is just my second book. So I was kind of already struggling with how it wasn't the same process as Again But Better. I like couldn't just write every day. I was feeling like all this anxiety and pressure after the first book. And I think that's what all authors maybe feel. And it was just adapting to that took me a while. And it wasn't until like right before the pandemic hit that I was like 40,000 words in. I was like, I have to finish my first draft. And I wrote like 70,000 words in 13 days. And I think like the pressure of that was what I needed to like get it out of me because I was so anxious about it. And then that was helpful in being productive during the pandemic because I was like revising all through the pandemic. And it gave me like, you know, a purpose, something that I needed to do every day, even though I was very anxious. But I do think that I was like extra during the whole thing.
You also have the whole second book, and the second book after a successful first book is it's like tough. You start getting in your own way, your like expectations. It's not that kind of magical of the first book where like you're kind of writing in a vacuum. So to have that on top of everything, I can't imagine. Well done.
Yeah.
It felt like I was just like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing the whole time. It happened.
In We Are Inevitable, Aaron goes on a journey to kind of confront his trauma. What was it like approaching that journey through writing?
You know, such a good question. Aaron has a different trauma than me. Like he is dealing with his anger at his brother and addiction and these feelings like addiction, like a choice that you make, which is such a, you know, a thing that I think somebody who's been affected by addiction would think. So I think it was really just about how hard it is to forgive yourself for things that you've done. And Aaron also living in this like place of fear, like for so much of his existence, because Sandy was sick, he's just waiting for the shoe to fall and almost wishing for it, which is, I think, how it is when you're living like that. It's like, oh, just get it over with. It's going to happen. And then you find things aren't any better. So he's dealing with that and the guilt. So it was good to like bring him to that and to use like this, him sort of coming to terms with books and music. Aaron very much identifies himself as a book person. He hates music. Music was his brother's domain, and then he falls in love with a musician and has to kind of face up to that. So it was a fun way to play with it, and with all the books too. Lots of book references in this one.
Yeah, love it. Christine, in Better Together, we have kind of a complicated sibling relationship. What was it like approaching that through writing?
I had so much fun with the two of them and their complicated relationship. Like I've had complicated relationships, I feel like, with most of my family members. So it was fun to just like let their like bickering word vomit out of me. And I mean, it was tough at times to write like the family dynamics. I feel like just because like I felt weighed down while I was writing it, even though I feel like it was fun in the long run to write those scenes because I don't know, I like writing these like arguments where everyone's like, there's the confused person and then there's like the people who are going back and forth. There's the person like observing them and making like quirky remarks on the side. Like I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But it was just like, it felt heavier afterward. I'd be like, okay, I gotta take a step back.
Yeah.
Even though like it's not that heavy, like I feel heaviness from writing it.
Yeah.
I thought you did a great job of making the sister bickering feel like banter. So it was
Nice.
Very funny. And like they bicker in person. When they're separated, they're bickering via all kinds of communications. So it had like a lightness to it. I'm sure you get asked this a lot. Did you have a favorite sister?
You know, I love both of them. And a lot of people are asking me like which one I relate to more. And like there's pieces of me in both of them. There's pieces of like both of my siblings in both of them. So it's like hard to pick. But I feel like if I had to choose, I am more like Siri, but I would love to be around Jamie and like experience her aura. Like,
and you see like this beautiful double cover. I love this. I love that you got both sisters on
me
here.
too. I'm so glad they did that because I was like worried like one sister wasn't going to get to have her day in the sun on the cover.
All right. So kind of a funny question, but there's an emphasis on dinosaurs and We Are Inevitable.
I love it.
I want you guys to pair the characters from your books with dinosaurs. Good luck. Have fun.
Okay.
What kind of
they kind of give off the same vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Same aura.
I would say that Jamie is like a raptor that does jokes instead of eat people. Like she just roars mean jokes, that sort of a thing. And she runs around. She's very personable because raptors are like the most human of the dinosaurs, right? That's what I learned from Jurassic Park.
I feel like your dinosaur game is a little bit better than mine. I would say Ira is like the Camarasaurus because I think that was like the gentle vegetarian, if I recall. And Ira is the dad. He's got like, he's just all kindness, but he's also just become a little bit sort of like, you know, absent-minded professor. He can't remember where anything is, but he is kind to everybody. So that's Ira. And I don't know, like which of the dinosaurs would you say was sort of like snarky and you know, a little bit sarcastic?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
what does your Jurassic Park knowledge tell us?
The T-Rex.
The T-Rex. And who would Chad be? Chad would be one of those dinosaurs
Chad would
that
be
evolved.
like the ducky one, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Ducky from The Land Before Time.
Oh.
Like always really positive and fun.
That's great.
And then Siri, I have to give her one. I would give her the flying
the pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
Yeah.
But I think they renamed pterodactyls as something else. But yes, the pterodactyl.
Siri is the total pterodactyl.
Yeah.
One that has to like sleep on the floor.
And she loves to be up in the air and be able to escape.
Yeah. She's a pterodactyl with a broken wing.
Oh, that's so sad.
Poor Siri.
If you were forced to go on a retreat and you were able to bring one fictional character, who would you bring with you and why? I need to know.
Oh God, from any book? A retreat?
From any book, yeah. Could be your own character.
Can't pick your own character.
Oh, you can't pick your own character? Okay.
No, definitely not.
That breaks the rules.
I would just jump to my like book boyfriend, Will Herondale, and we could read books together. Or Aaron. Aaron can come and we could read books together. Now that he's reading again.
Yes, it's true. I feel like I'm just going to bring a real person who's also like a fictional person. I'll bring like David Sedaris just because he'll keep me laughing the whole time.
There you go.
And then, I don't know, somebody swoony. I have to think of I have to like, I have some bad book boyfriends that I feel like we just can't really go there. I feel like still loving Mr. Rochester like I do is so wrong, but if it's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Too good.
Not her fault.
Do it. Go for it. Bring him
on his steed.
Yeah. All right, because we're doing book to movie adaptation trivia, I need to know what book to movie adaptation you resonated with the most.
Oh my gosh. That's so hard. There's so many book to movie adaptations, Jesse.
I'm sorry.
I remember when I watched If I Stay, I had lost my papa like a couple months before that. And I guess like I hadn't processed it as much, but watching If I Stay, I was like bawling the entire time. And I feel like it was just like helping me process that loss. And it was so good. I came out there like, oh my God, that was the most emotional thing in my life. Like I've never cried so much in a movie.
Right.
I'm trying to think of like which ones like got me. Like I feel like probably Wonder because we watch it so much in our house. Like that was one where like it just kind of made me cry all over again. I don't know that it resonated like in a deep way, but one of my favorite adaptations is The Devil Wears Prada. I could like watch that so many times.
That one is so good.
It was like the best.
Yeah.
I
was
was
like,
Meryl, the outfits.
Yes.
It was just all so good.
Yes.
I always like also want to say Catching Fire, but I don't feel like that resonated with me like on an emotional level. It just resonated with me like on like the best movie adaptation I've seen of a book. Like it was like what I thought I was
Right.
like what my head thought when it was reading it. I was like, oh my God, they pulled it right out and it's perfect. How?
No,
That
it's
never
true.
happened.
It's true. And I feel like the
So good.
5th Harry Potter one, that one just like gutted me. I've never noticed the 5th or the 6th because the last one they split into 2. I get so confused.
Six?
It's the one.
yeah,
It's the one where a very beloved character who we all love so much died.
Okay.
Oh, which
6.
one?
Is it 6?
Probably
Thank
6.
you. Thank you.
5 and 6. Have
Oh,
Yeah.
5. Yeah,
characters
technically
that
5
died.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we are going to be moving into book to movie adaptation trivia now. Are we doing this like as competitive? Is that the thing?
We
Or
can't do this competitive because
We could
our
just do
brains
it
are
as
broken.
fun.
Our
Okay.
brains
We
are
can do it
broken,
as
and
fun.
together we have
You know
one
what?
brain.
I prefer that anyways.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
But I feel like viewers at home, you should be playing along.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I'm
play
sure you can
Comment-
beat us.
Comment your
Yeah.
answers
Yeah.
as I
Yeah.
ask. So,
We're not gonna look at your answers.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
cheating.
no cheating. All right. This first one.
Should we-
Should we buzz in? Should we buzz in like this? Like just raise your hand up?
Yeah. If you know the answer, just raise your hand.
Oh my God,
Okay.
see Princess Bride, yes, The Hate You Give, also love The Hate You Give so much.
Oh my
I've
God.
totally
Yes.
been Shadow and Boned. Thank you for reminding me because my brain does not work. See,
Right.
I need you all.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
All right, here we go. First one. Name 3 book to movie adaptations featuring Chloe Grace Moretz.
Carrie, If I Stay, and The Fifth Wave.
Yes.
I couldn't
Chloe,
remember.
I'll
Wait,
never time I know Chloe.
Why wasn't If I Stay your first answer?
I mean, because it's so
Carrie.
obvious. It's so obvious. You also said I'd just save it to make sure I could come up with 3, right?
I was gonna be like, If I Stay, Kick Ass. Like, is Kick Ass an adaptation? I don't know.
Technically, comics. Okay, what character in The Outsiders needs to stay golden?
Pony Boy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good job. Nice.
I've never read that, but it says that everywhere. So.
Yeah.
And I think in the original movie adaptation, Pony Boy is C. Thomas Howell. Do I get extra points? Is that right?
Sure, you get extra
Okay,
points.
sure.
I feel like these are like easy questions. Oh no. All right. Name all color divisions from The Darkest Minds. Christine.
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue.
Correct. Congratulations. You win
Thank
nothing.
you. I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a point.
I had no idea what you were talking about, so thank you for taking that one.
All right. Name an adaptation for a book by an author duo.
David
Beautiful Creatures.
Levitan and Rachel Cohn. Like there's
Yeah,
like
that's
3 of
good.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Christine, did you have
Wait,
one?
did- I said Beautiful Creatures.
That works
Oh,
as well.
Margie and Cammy, you got it.
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
I thought that would be harder. Man, okay.
We're good at this,
see.
apparently.
Apparently
David
so.
and Rachel, everything they do gets adapted, so it's very
Yes.
easy. Yeah.
Let's see here. What is a book that was adapted into a film and will be readapted in the near future? Christine.
Vampire Academy.
Yeah.
Vampire Academy.
Good job. Good job. Okay.
And
Dang, I should have gone for harder questions.
no, these are hard because oh god, why
There's
can't
another one. There's another one.
Lemony Snicket was adapted as
Yeah.
a film and then a
Ah,
TV
yeah.
series. And
There's
wasn't Rick Riordan? Aren't they readapting that
There you
too?
go. That's what I was looking
Yeah.
for. Percy
Yeah.
Jackson.
Percy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Percy.
All right.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
We're going to make Christine answer this one before Gail answers it.
Uh-oh.
From the adaptation, If I Stay, what is Mia's surname?
Oh no! I am so bad at names right now. I'm like Thermopolis from the Princess Diaries.
Princess
Exactly.
Diaries.
You know what? I have
Yeah.
to be fair, she doesn't actually have a surname in If I Stay the film. So we had to, I think she got a surname in Where She Went. And the parents didn't, like the parents are only mom and dad. So I feel like it's okay that you don't know that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
All
so
right, well,
sorry. What is
Gail,
it?
take it
Paul.
over.
Mia
Oh,
Hall.
Oh, okay. Gosh, I can't. All I could think was Thermopolis. I was just like, Mia Thermopolis. I've heard that name so many times.
all right. Where in South Carolina is Beautiful Creatures set in?
Charleston. Or it's filmed in Charleston.
Is it?
No, it's Gatewin.
Yeah, good job.
How is my brain coming up with this? I don't know.
I don't know. That was amazing. I had no idea. Like, this is a name again. I have no idea.
All right. Name a fairy tale retelling that got adapted.
A fairy tale
Cruella?
retelling.
What'd you say?
Cruella?
Does that count?
I mean,
Kind of, but there's one
retelling.
one that I'm like really thinking of that was like a book.
Fairy
Shrek?
tales.
Um,
Shrek technically was a book. I saw that in
yeah.
the credits last time I watched it.
okay, your hint is Vanessa Hudgens. I think she's in it.
What? Is it High School Musical?
I think she's in it. I think Vanessa Hudgens.
High
Is
School Musical, a fairy
Okay.
tale? I mean, I guess it's like a modern day Disney fairy tale.
It's Grease.
Think Beauty and the Beast.
Beastly? Someone
Yeah,
said it. I cheated.
Okay.
I
Cheater.
cheated. Sorry.
Yes,
Sorry.
And what about Ever After, the Drew Barrymore retelling of Cinderella, going back a little deep cuts, 90s?
That
That
one.
was so good. And I feel like that was like the beginning of the feminist retellings of the,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Name 3 of the kids' abilities from the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children adaptation.
oh my God.
Ah, it's been so long.
It's been so long. Sorry,
Um,
Ransom, help me.
Okay, is the
Guys, put it in the chat, please.
Cheater.
wait, there's one with bees.
Yes, that counts.
Bees. And then there's one with like why am I picturing like okay, there's a strong one.
Really
Yeah.
strong, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then is there one
Floating in fire? I'm just
Oh, yeah,
there's one
Jenny's
that-
telling
yeah.
me.
I was trying
Jenny.
to be invisible, but it didn't really
there's
work.
a floating one. There's
Yes.
also one that floats.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah,
that
oh
movie
my God.
like in a movie theater. Do you remember those?
Yeah. Oh.
The week it came out. It's been a
So
while.
vintage.
Yeah.
What's the metaphor used in The Fault in Our Stars? An extra point if you
The
get
fault in our stars, you mean that metaphor?
Yeah. Or
You
no,
mean
like-
the actual fault?
no. The metaphor that Augustus uses.
You mean the cigarettes that he's
Yeah,
always
there you
pretending to
go.
smoke?
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Yes.
I was like, there's John
So
uses
many
metaphors
John
all
Green
the time.
metaphor.
There's like, no, that's
He
the
turned okay into a metaphor.
right. All right. In the movie adaptation for If I Stay, what instrument did Mia play? There you go.
Take it, babe.
All right. I'll do another If I Stay one. What's the name of Adam's band?
Trick question.
I don't remember the name. What is
So
it?
So the name of the book, which is one of the things if I could go back and redo, was Shooting Star. I named it after like my husband, who was the inspiration for Adam at the time, who was in a band called like the Redmond Shooting Stars.
Oh,
Shooting Star was such a hair band name; it was terrible. So they renamed it Willamette Stone in the movie. And another piece of trivia: like I can't tell you how many band names we had to go through to come up with that,
Really?
and all the other fake band names that are on the posters, because you can't have anything that actually has ever been a band because of legal clearances.
That makes
So
sense.
I would say we went through at least 100 band names.
wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right. What class is Bella seated in next to Edward?
Kyle.
Good job. I knew you'd get that one.
Have to share the microscope, but he doesn't want to because
All right. Name the 3 boys that Lara Jean wrote letters to from the To All the Boys I've Loved Before adaptation.
oh my
Christine.
god.
Peter Kavinsky. Oh my God, I was going to say
Who's
Jordan
the
Fisher.
The one from the
Um,
sequel. Oh, what's
John
his name?
Ambrose.
John
McLaren.
Ambrose. Yeah.
And then her other friend. What is his name? I don't remember his name. Is it like Michael or is it Matt or?
She writes
I
so
have-
many in the first one. I can't remember. I can only remember
I have Lucas down, but I don't remember.
Oh, I think that is Lucas. It is Lucas. That's his name.
Okay.
I just invented Michael Matt. I couldn't remember his name.
All right. Name 3 book-to-movie adaptations featuring Amanda Steinberg.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead. There you go.
Darkest Minds.
Mm-hmm.
What's the third one?
It's a really big franchise. There's
Hunger
also
Games,
another
of course. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
she
the Hunger
started.
Games. Yeah.
Rue, yeah.
All right. We kind of already talked about this, but what's the phrase that Hazel and Augustus say to each other to show they care?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So apparently I have to see Darkest Minds, huh?
You gotta check it
I
out.
don't know how that one just completely like
Missed it.
yeah.
Yes. What is the Catching Fire arena modeled after?
A clock.
Yeah.
Right,
Good
the clock.
Sorry,
job.
I'm getting a little excited.
All right, we are now moving into the fill in the blank quote section.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read you a quote. I'm gonna do some blankety blanks. You're gonna have to fill in the blanks.
Blankety
The blankety blanks. Okay.
Okay.
What a stupid blank. What a sick blank.
What is this from?
Twilight.
Oh, what a stupid lamb! What a sick masochistic lion! Masochistic lion.
Good job.
Oh, yeah. You need context for that.
Yeah. What a stupid blank.
What a stupid blank.
Hey. All right. Blank. That's what we do for the people we love.
Try.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
Oh,
That's my movie. Thank you for the
Yes, from
softballs. That would be
Beautiful
very
USA.
embarrassing if I didn't know that.
I was like, a lot of things could go there.
But I can sing the song from the Hunger Games. I can sing like the Hanging Tree song, or I can hum it.
Well,
'Cause I don't.
Go for it.
I don't remember the
You just
lyrics,
love
but I did it.
microphone. Yeah.
You sang it so much.
Are we
we
going to the tree where there's na 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 and they murdered 3?
Yeah. And that's where we
Alright.
discovered Jennifer Lawrence can sing.
Right?
Yes.
All right. A wizard is never late, blank, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
A wizard
Blank?
is never.
Blank.
Where's the blank again?
A wizard is never late, blank.
Harry?
nor is he early.
I'm just gonna say Harry.
It is a character name, but it's from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, it's Frodo?
Yes, a wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. There we go.
From the Baggins.
Yes, good job.
Is that Gandalf telling him that?
I don't remember.
I don't-
I was like, I've definitely heard this quote.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be interested to see if you guys get this
They
one.
strung up a man, they say who murdered 3.
Interlude.
Yeah, thank you. Are
All
you?
right,
Are you?
here we go. Everything you've heard about blank, legends
Oh.
whispered around
Oh.
campfires.
Oh.
All the stories are true.
Oh. Yeah, it's from Shadowhunters.
Do you want me to do the
wait.
blanks again?
Yeah, where the
Okay.
blanks are.
Everything you've heard about blank, legends whispered
Everything you've
around.
heard about magic? Myths?
Everything you've heard about. It does start with an M.
Myths, magic, myths,
Mushrooms.
moms,
Monster.
Monday.
Monsters.
Yes, go Gail.
Wow, that was a rough one.
and the second blank is nine.
Nightmares.
Yes, good job, guys. Team effort. All right.
I just
All right, the
I think
last
you
one.
thought we were smarter than we are. I feel like I've let you down. I'm really sorry.
No, you've been great. You've been killing it. All right, the last one for the fill in the blank section. We've got, I'm willing to sacrifice everything just to live blank day. This one comes from everything.
Day by day?
No.
Just like one normal day.
You got the one
Like
part.
that. One
One. It's one.
Great day?
great, beautiful, magic, sexy.
Amazing?
Yeah.
Everything
Day in
day.
Hawaii.
Something that is like
Having sex with
holier
beautiful
than
joy.
now. Something that is holier than now is like
Holy, heavenly.
Heavenly.
Not heaven, not like holy, not like heavenly, like something that is just like
Free, loving, love,
a masterpiece.
miraculous?
And it's like a masterpiece. It is
Perfect.
perfect. Did you say
One
perfect?
perfect day.
Yes.
Yes!
There we go.
Wow.
Again with the team effort. I love it. All right. Last segment we have before we are going to be jumping into questions from the audience.
Thank
This
you,
is
audience, for saving us. By the
Yeah.
way, I love you very much.
It's been very helpful. All right. We've got name that adaptation quote. You get 1 point for the movie, 1 point for the character, even though I have not been taking down any points. Here we go.
Okay.
Hope. It is the only thing stronger than fear. A little hope is effective. A lot of hope is dangerous. A spark is fine as long as it's contained.
Oh, it's from Catching Fire.
Yeah, Hunger Games. And who says it?
Oh, it's Snow.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what I was like.
good
It's
job.
the bad guy, right? It's Snow.
Yes.
Oh, Donald Sutherland with your roses.
All right. Next one. I realize now that dying is easy.
Oh,
Living is
please.
hard. Come on, Gail.
Mia from If I Stay.
Yes. Good job.
Jesse
How did you get that?
I don't know. I'm a genius. Haven't you figured
Hey, we
that
got it
out?
from If I Stay. If you haven't seen it, go watch it right now, audience.
Memorize it, and then next time we meet, you'll know Mia's last name.
Excited.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, here we go. Things change and friends leave, and life doesn't stop for anybody.
Like, this is a Taylor Swift
It's a
lyric from
coming of age story, contemporary.
Perks.
Things
Is
Change.
it Perks?
Yeah, Perks.
Perks
Yeah,
with Big
Perks.
Willpower, and
Yeah.
it's
Nice.
Is it him or is it?
Yeah, the main
I can't
character.
remember the character's
Charlie.
name. Named
Charlie,
Charlie. Yeah.
Yes,
Charlie.
you got it.
I could not get out of Taylor Swift's song.
I mean,
Things
You were
change.
so right. I feel like you could have broken into it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you sing us that adaptation of that line, please, Christine? Come on, give us your Taylor.
It was the night things changed. Can you feel
Yes.
it now?
Here we go. All right. No matter what label is thrown your way, only you can define yourself. It's another contemporary adaptation.
There's so many
It's a
lines.
comedy.
Comedy.
Does it have Shailene Woodley in it?
No.
Okay.
Read it again, please.
No matter what label is thrown your way, only you can define yourself. And it's one that
Oh, wait, is it a new one? Is it Moxie? No.
no.
Oh,
But it is one that kind of has to do with labels.
is it Dumpling?
No.
Mm,
It does start with a D.
I can only think of
The
the
All right, I'm looking. Okay, people.
the
The
Not
gender
Simon.
misfit.
It's start with a D. People and audience members.
The Darkest Night.
the
of-
duh.
The Duff.
The duh.
The Duff. The Duff.
Good
I love
effort, guys.
The
Good effort.
Duff.
Isn't it so good?
Yes.
The movie was great.
And it holds up
I
so
love
well.
that
It's
movie.
Yeah,
delightful.
it was so fun.
Heidi
It's just been
Kaplan.
a while.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, one last one for this quote one, and then we're going to be going to the questions.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, now the audience comes in with it. Okay.
I know.
It's
It's all delayed.
people saying the Duff.
Yeah.
The Duff.
Okay. How does the story begin? It begins like many other stories about a boy too old to be a kid, a mom too young to be a mom, and a nightmare.
Oh my god, this sounds
A
so
Monster
familiar.
Calls.
Yeah. Good job.
Ah,
Yes.
wow, nice.
Awesome. All right. Well, that was it for the book trivia. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had
That was
fun,
great,
audience.
Justin.
A
Thank you.
pluses for both of us.
Yeah, you guys did great. All right, we've got some questions here. Okay, would you say your characters are a reader or a non-reader? This comes from X-Teen May Fan Club.
Well, the Better Together characters.
Yeah. Go over like better together characters.
Okay, the Better Together characters. Siri likes poetry, and Jamie is just she does audiobooks on the occasion. But I feel like since their parents both love reading so much and tried to push it on them so much, they kind of rebel out of just because they want to annoy them, like subconsciously.
Gail, what about you?
I mean, mine is explicit. Like Aaron starts out not being able to read anymore. It's a thing he used to love, and he's like allergic to it. So, and he used to think books were miracles, and now not so much.
Oh, I love his take on them being miracles. That scene where like he goes to the bookseller and they like guess what he wants to read.
Yeah,
so beautiful.
I know. We love the booksellers. We love Samira if you're there. Like we love going in there and you helping us to find our next book. I think we've all had the experience of like not knowing what to read and having an indie bookseller put something in our hands, or any bookseller, human bookseller, put something into our hands that we wouldn't have thought of.
Yes. Okay. Which one of your characters would be most likely to survive the Hunger Games? This question comes from David.
I think Jamie.
Jamie?
I think she could be cutthroat. She could be cutthroat if she needs to be.
Yes.
I mean, like, yeah, Jamie would whip everybody into shape. Yeah, she's so tough.
Siri would hide them.
I feel like Chad, he uses a wheelchair, but Chad knows how to get everybody to do everything he needs them to do. He's one of those people who you're like, wait, I said A, and now I'm doing Z. It's because Chad just kind of slowly gets you there.
And he's so likable, like no one would want to kill him.
Amazing. Okay, this question comes from Anna. They ask, if you could cast yourself in a book, which book would it be? It's kind of a tough question.
It's a tough one because like my default answer is like I want to be a wizard.
Oh well, there you go.
So I guess I'll cast myself as Hermione.
I think right now I would like cast myself. Well, I would either cast myself like somewhere where I have like much power in the United States, although I don't even think president's enough power for me. Maybe I have to be like Senate minority leader. But I miss traveling so much. I feel like I would like want to be in some travel book, or can I cast myself as like the Fodor's guide?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. This question comes from Suhani, and they ask, what book universe would characters of any of your books want to live in?
Good question.
Like what fantasy world specifically would you put them in? I'm actually curious.
I always want to do Harry Potter because like that's where like I'm the most comfortable because I've like studied those books growing up.
Right.
But yeah, all the other fantasy worlds are kind of scary that I'm thinking of right now. Like the Sarah J. Maas fantasy worlds are kind of rough, and like the fantasy worlds, like the Shadowhunters world is kind of rough.
Yeah, I don't think Aaron could be in any fantasy world where there's any kind of like fighting happening. Like I feel like he could be like the Magicians. He could be like in the Lev Grossman fantasy world where he could be like going to school and sort of, but I guess they get a little violent there too. No, Aaron would obviously go to Narnia. What am I thinking? He's obsessed.
Oh my god.
Narnia,
obsessed with Narnia.
There.
That is where he would go, obviously.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That would be so fun to see him there. He's such a big
like
fan.
Maybe he'd be happy.
Yes.
All right. We have two like writer questions. So I'm just going to ask them back to back. This one comes from Kennedy. They ask, when did you first realize you wanted to be a writer? And then, let's see. Emily asks, any tips for an aspiring writer?
Christine, I want to know the answer when you knew you wanted to be a writer, because you have been such a book person and such a book champion. Yeah. Was that always there all along? Or like at what point did you like, no, I want to write as well as champion books?
I mean, I knew I loved to write. I just didn't I literally didn't think that it was something that I would be able to do. So I didn't seriously consider it ever. But when I was in second grade and my Nana and Papa got Microsoft Word on their computer, I would be so excited to go over so I could write my story about this girl named Sophia who was in second grade. And it was my favorite thing to do. And then when I read Amelia's notebooks and it was a story told through her journal, I started writing journals like her so that I could have my own version of a book. So I always wanted to write, but I didn't think that I would ever be able to write a book. So it wasn't until I was in college and I started reading books about like young girls that were my age that I was like, oh wow, maybe I can write a full book. Like maybe this is a thing that I can do, because I was so intimidated because what I read growing up were like all big fantasies that I was obsessed with, and they were all with like boy lead characters, and I just didn't, I don't know, I didn't connect to them as much. And I didn't realize that until with time. Like I was like, why was Twilight like such a big turning point? Because like I was finally reading about like a teen girl, and I never did that. And it feel like I told the story, it just sounds so dumb. Like you didn't read about a teen girl until you were like 18, but like I didn't. It's so weird.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's how, when I was like, yeah, I want to write books. But in college, I went for TV and movie writing because I was like, that's not as long as a book. I can handle it. What about you?
It was sort of the same, where I grew up writing, but it never occurred to me that that would be a job. And not even, I was a journalist for like 12 years. And even as a journalist, writing novels, it seemed like impossible, because like when you're a journalist, you have facts, you have interviews, you have word count, you have all these sort of things that help you kind of like decide what you're going to write about. And I thought, like, if you could write about anything, how could you choose anything to write about? But then once I did it, I realized it's so liberating, because you get to just make it up. When I'm teaching and someone's like, oh, I want the character to show this or that, I'm like, great, like figure out how you want to do it. It's completely up to you to make it up. So I'll give a little bit of writing advice, and then I'll knock it back to you. But I think one thing that I've realized over time is that your superpower as a writer is that there's hundreds of thousands, millions of books out there, right? But only you bring your life experience, which is not necessarily something you're going to write about, but it's going to inform how you look at the world, your perspective, your voice, what you bring to the page. Nobody else has. That is your superpower, so lean into it.
That's great.
Yeah. Christine, what about you? Do you have any tips for aspiring writers?
Oh, I was that part of the question?
Yeah.
Gail has better tips. Gail's been doing this longer. I feel like
back in the day.
I love what Gail just said, and I love the tip to write what you want to read, because someone else is going to see how passionate you are through the story and connect with it as well, because we all have similar issues and struggles, and we need to see those stories. So your story, other people are going to want to read your story.
Yeah. All right. Shayla asks, what songs would you want as soundtracks if your books, these new ones that were released, were to be adapted?
Ooh, I've been thinking of this because I have a playlist. And I love Brutal as like the opening track for Siri in this book. Olivia Rodrigo's song. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my God, this is Siri's song right in like chapter 2. And I also love everything from Halsey's Manic. I think it fits both of their like struggly times really well. A lot of stuff in there. I would just be like, oh, this is Jamie right now. Like, oh, this is Siri. I connected to it so hard that I just listened to it on repeat for ages while I was writing it. That
totally makes sense. I actually have to put I have a playlist too, which I'm going to post publicly. And it's about a perfect song. So at one point in the book, Hannah, who's this musician who Aaron sort of falls for, talks about a perfect song. And a perfect song is super subjective, but to me, every time I hear a song that's perfect, I'm like, that is a perfect song. And I don't know why all artists don't only ever write perfect songs, because like it's so clear what is there. But it also makes me think about writing, because the process of getting your book from here, where it exists as a perfect song, onto the page, there's a pretty big chasm there. So I have a whole list of perfect songs, because Hannah has her perfect songs. And when Aaron says, I hate music, no song will ever be perfect for me, she's like, oh yeah, challenge accepted. And she creates a playlist for him. So I'm going to make that playlist public. And I've been thinking about more perfect songs as well. And to me, a perfect song is just like a song that makes you feel something, and it has to do with not just the lyrics but really the instrumentation and what have you. So there's a whole bunch of those. And also I should say the Talking Heads, This Must Be the Place, which is very important in We Are Inevitable and sort of Aaron's family's provenance. And I listened to that whole, Talking Heads, a bunch of Talking Heads sort of over and over as I wrote.
When you hear a perfect song, do you like write it down so you remember? I feel like I always forget all the songs, so I can't make like a perfect song playlist.
It's bad now because like I'll listen to like Spotify radio based on something I like, and like half the time I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing, I have to star that, and then I forget. So I'm bad.
It's so easy too. Yeah.
My perfect songs like I'll date from like 3 years ago, because now with Spotify I'm just like I just count on the algorithm to feed me more.
It's really good.
Yeah. That one actually really works. I discover a lot of new music that way.
Me too.
We've got time for a few more questions. This one's from Juan. How do you choose the character names in your book? Which names do you like the most out of all the books you have written?
Ooh. Gail, how do you choose your character names?
I mean, sometimes they just come to you named, and like I realize after the fact that I kind of named Aaron after an Aaron I know who is like a bookseller, and I was like, oh right, oops. I think one of my favorite character names, this one's for you, Christine, is Willem from Just One Day, because the Shakespeare stuff, like I didn't connect the fact that I had named a character William and had a book full of Shakespeare and he became a Shakespearean actor. It was like totally by accident. Willem is just such a Dutch name that I like, and it's easy. So that was like such a perfect serendipitous name.
Nice.
I want to hear about Siri as a name too. So answer the question and ask how you came to Siri as a name.
Yeah, well, I feel like mine is a little bit of a spoiler for like a joke in the book. For Jamie and Siri, I came up with them at first. No, I'm not going to tell you.
Don't
but
tell. Okay.
My favorite name. My favorite names, I probably like Pilot from Again But Better, because it took so long to come up with that weird name, and I was like totally doing it as a joke for YA literature, because there's just so many like out there names that you end up just falling in love with those characters, and they just become names that like are ingrained in your vocabulary, and it's like I need one of those. And there's the people that are like, I can't even get past the name Pilot, and there's the people that are like, oh my god, I love it. And I love that you see both sides of the spectrum there. But I came up with that name because I think I came up with the last name Penn, and I was like, oh, Pilot pens are a thing that I've written with, and Shane writes, and Pilot could be his name. But yeah, Jamie and Siri, you'll, I feel like, realize once you get to the point in the book where that came from. And yeah.
You have some interesting, like I feel like you have some unusual names in your books.
I like to do unusual names. Yeah. I feel like I have a lot of fun with those. I like, yeah, I'm trying to think of like how I came up with some of them, but like they just came. That it was one of those books like Better Together. A lot of the names just came to me, whereas like Again But Better, I spent like ages agonizing over them all.
All right, Kennedy asks, and this can be a little bit different. What's the funniest typo you've ever written, or have you ever like had any like big errors while writing? Like
everything I write is like one big error. I'm like a typo queen. I can't do a tweet without a typo. It's so embarrassing, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like same. And I think that I go over things so many times that in my mind I see it one way, and it's like I can't go into something, and I need a copy editor for Twitter.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
And at least Instagram lets you edit, so you can go back and fix your typos. Like Twitter is like, please. And I feel like there's been some interesting autocorrect texts.
Yeah, I remember actually a big one for both of my books. Like staring was written as starring for every time someone was staring at someone. It was like Siri was starring at him. I'm starring at Zerar. It was ridiculous, and I didn't catch it both times until like all the way around toward the end. This is so embarrassing. Why?
The most embarrassing thing I'm now realizing is just one day, because we wound up like doing that one so fast, the edit. There's a version where like I changed a character's name, and I think in the original hardcover version, like both names appear. So like he's like even, it's really really embarrassing. And then the readers get really upset and angry sometimes at you. And I remember one reader being like, "So full of typos, I want to return it." And it's mortifying to find a typo in a published book. It's so mortifying.
Yeah, and I feel like it's inevitable for my books since there's
typos are inevitable.
Right.
Oh no, we're out of time.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to end such a
That's
fun hour. Thank you all so much.
Yeah.
If you have
Thank
not,
you
everybody,
for having us.
buy Better Together. It is delightful.
And
Two
we are
covers for
inevitable.
the price of one.
Yeah.
Do you guys
So
remember
great.
the final interpretive dance? Ready?
Bye, we are inevitable. La, 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 la. That was a terrible song. But
No, it was
We
very
should buy
good,
it.
along with your
I'm
Taylor Swift
sorry.
song. I feel
It's gonna drop on Spotify right after
Yeah,
this, so stream it, guys.
exactly. It's gonna go
Add
right
to
to
the
my favorite
playlist.
song. It's gonna go in the perfect song playlist.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Strand, for hosting us, and
Yeah,
Jesse,
thank you
you
so
were
much.
amazing. You were so much fun.
Yes. So great.
Thank you, everyone, to our audience. There are links in
Oh,
the chat.
audience. Yes, and audience, thank you for helping us with the trivia. You're amazing.
You guys know a lot more.
You were a fantastic audience.
Yes.
Yes. So on that note, good night, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.